Good morrow, fairest maidens and gentlefolk. We return at another episode of the Shakespearehead podcast. Should thou be enamored by my content, be certain to subscribe and toll the bell to be notified of the next episode. Now, methinks Hamlet is the best Shakespeare play, is it not? Many may not speak of this, but methinks Polonius, the king's adviser, be the true tragic hero of this tale. What gives this? Let us begin the countdown. Number 5. Polonius hath status. Bring to mind that Polonius hath status not in the utmost traditional senses of the tragic hero, yet still fitting in a way. Many are born a noble, such as Hamlet and King Lear. Rather than that, he acts as the adviser to the king. Act 2, Scene 2, line 139. Claudius thinks of him, I quote, as of a man faithful and honorable. Good favors make good fortune. Yes, my rich uncle says this. All in all, favorable position in the beginning of the play, but thou hast yet to see what sets him apart from the rest. Number 4. Polonius bears good intention. We know well that Polonius is an imperfect man, but the criterion counts for that of thoughts, not that of actions. He has a daughter Ophelia and a son Laertes. He knoweth that without his connection to the king, they shall live in poverty. This and that the nobility is generally untrustworthy, like a balancing act, no? So he saith to Laertes in Act 1, Scene 3, and I shall only quote part of it, for Polonius is long-winded, costly thy habit as thy purse can buy, but not expressed in the fancy, rich, not gaudy, for the apparel oft proclaims the man, and they in France of the best rank and station are of a most select and generous chief in that. And that's line 76 to 80. The whole speech is about what it to be and what not to be. That is the question. Slight reference there. Overbearing, yes, but he advocates for Laertes' success as he hath succeeded in life. His advice to Ophelia showeth his disdain for Hamlet, a prince who hath claimed his love for Ophelia. Same scene, he saith this in line 136 to 138. Do not believe his vows, for they are brokers, not of that dye which their investments show, but mere implorators of unholy suits. Doth he have experience? Yes, as he deals with royalty, and you can see it in his diction. Brokers and investments, he saith, to convey the transactional love he views within the relationship, and also to demonstrate his knowledge of money. Doth he diminish Ophelia's feelings? In part, also yes. This bringeth us to the next point. Number 3. Polonius is blinded to reality. Countless moments. He misunderstands the nature of Hamlet's woes, and maketh poor judgment because of it. In Act 2, Ophelia speaketh of Hamlet's mad state, which thou is aware hath sprung from the murder of his father and remarriage of his mother. Polonius believes it's because Ophelia rejected Hamlet's letters, as he hath told her to. Even in Act 2, Scene 2, the following conversation with Hamlet, he looks over to the audience and says, still harping on my daughter. So Act 3, Scene 1, he uses Ophelia to get more information out of him. And, well, Ophelia is met with such heartbreak when Hamlet snaps at her. That poor woman. Polonius hath always got others in the crossfire because of his lapses in judgment, and he is so sure of himself too. Another one of his bold acts will soon land him in death. Spoiler alert! Number 2, his tale ends in death. What would be the iconic tragic hero without an untimely demise? Not just any death, but the first death, and of course the only isolated death that hath occurred directly on stage. Isolated as in he was the only death in a particular scene. In Act 3, Scene 4, he attempts to spy on Hamlet as he confronts his mother, but is mistaken for Claudius behind the drapery is penetrated by blade. His final words, "Oh, I am slain," a simple last words that does contrast his long-winded self, if I may comment. Now, why he goes so early, thou may question. It is because it increaseth the tension. Claudius hath lost his adviser. Laertes vows his revenge on Hamlet, but most heartbreaking is that Ophelia hath gone mad and presumably hath ended her own life in Act 4. The death of Polonius holds a similar value to his life, both impactful in their own ways. It really matches the themes of the play, of mortality and of legacy. It's as if he adviseth from the grave, guiding the action of Laertes as he chooses vengeance over forgiveness, to enact justice against the nobility Polonius mistrust to an extent. Now, before we find ourselves at number 1 of this list, this podcast is sponsored by Galileo's thermoscope. Want to know the change in temperature or if one thing is warmer than another? Galileo's thermoscope has thee covered. Support innovations in technology by buying Galileo's thermoscope. Do not drink the fluid inside. Anyway, let us resume the list. Finally, at number 1, Polonius has a tragic flaw. I have said this before. Thou cannot be a tragic hero without a tragic flaw. The most common is hubris, or pride, for those uneducated, and Polonius is possibly the most hubristic one could be. I shan't tell a lie, folks. Now, this hubris often be for comedy's sake. Methinks it make him endearing in an odd way. Brevity is the soul of wit, he saith. Doth thou not hear it thyself? Lots of good wordplay and irony with him truly, but of course it worketh against him too. Thou hast seen a pattern of how he taketh his own word as a wholesome truth, whether right or wrong. He saith anything and everything just to say nothing. He acts wise, but in Act 2, Scene 1, he forgets what he means to say in the middle of his words to Reynaldo. Even his pride marks his downfall when he entrusts himself to spy on Hamlet over anyone else. So, what do you think? Is Polonius worthy of the tragic hero title? If so, comment below. If not, you have no maidens. Tune in for next week, where I shall discuss if Othello is truly a win for the African community.